Hello, National University Academy students. This is Mr. Goyette wrapping up the second half of our World History B Unit 3 review for your assessment, also for the CST tests that are coming up for the subject of World War II and the years leading up to World War II. One purpose, let's see, let me go back to the information on page 917 of your textbook. All the following were examples of aggression by the Axis powers prior to 1939. Some of these included the Italian invasion of Ethiopia, German occupation of the Rhineland, and the Japanese seizure of Manchuria. The German arms sales to Spain did not happen until well after that. So you want to make sure that for assessment purposes that you look out for the Italian invasion of Ethiopia, the German occupation of the Rhineland, Sudetenland, and the Japanese seizure of Manchuria as things happening prior to 1939. This was all happening because of the appeasement process. Great Britain and the League of Nations were allowing Hitler to walk over the agreements, and they kept saying, oh, well, we're going to have peace in our times, Neville Chamberlain liked to say. Well, Neville Chamberlain was saying, as he was saying this, every time they gave Hitler another concession, oh yeah, take the Rhineland. Oh, okay. Yeah, take Sudetenland. Take Czechoslovakia. Fine. Prague, big deal. Who needs it? Hitler's going, okay. He actually says, if France and Britain were to stand up to me at this point, I would be able to build my war machine. He writes this stuff down. Well, as Neville Chamberlain and the League of Nations are giving him concession after concession and allowing him a little bit more land, allows him to build his war machine stronger and stronger. So it ends up getting to the point where he can invade more and more countries and feel that the Allies or the League of Nations at this point isn't going to do anything about it. So it really encouraged him. It didn't appease him. It encouraged him to keep going. Let's see. Who might this be, now that we're on the subject? Nature is cruel, so we may be cruel too. I have the right to remove millions of the inferior race that breed like vermin. This quote expresses the ideals of, you guessed it, Adolf Hitler. Page 913, you can go over his race ideas that are part of his book Mein Kampf, or My Struggle. Interestingly enough, another mass murderer, second only to Mao Zedong, Stalin also wrote a book about his struggle. It's funny how his struggle ends up with a lot of people dying. It's funny, these guys that are always struggling. Huh? Okay, what factor that probably led Germany to try to dominate Europe was absent in Japan's attempt to dominate Asia. Now, a lot of the push was because of the Treaty of Versailles punished the German people. So the League of Nations condemned Germany's maneuvers to take over more of Europe, but Germany was acting out of revenge in part because of the Treaty of Versailles. So you'll see that on the quiz. In Mein Kampf, Hitler stressed racism and nationalism as the basis for his philosophy, and in the Nazi-Soviet non-aggression pact on page 925 reminds us that Stalin agreed to let Germany invade Poland. He did not agree to allow Hitler to invade Russia, and when Hitler kept building his war machine, that's when Stalin got a little antsy and thought that maybe joining the Allies' side, for now anyway, would be a good idea. So Stalin agreed to let Germany invade Poland in the Nazi-Soviet aggression pact. Supporters of Mussolini's fascist party believed the state should be glorified. You'll see this on page 912 of your textbook. Fascists believe that political power must rest with a single strong leader or a supreme leader. There's a graphic organizer on the whole makeup of what a fascist is on page 911, which will go into that. So again, the fascists believed that the political power must rest with a strong, single, or supreme leader. Which of the following was the most important turning point in the attitude of British public opinion of Hitler's foreign policy? Now, I just talked about appeasement and Neville Chamberlain's allowing Hitler to keep going, and the League of Nations allowing Hitler to keep marching on. The German occupation of Prague and Czechoslovakia really turned public opinion around in Britain, and people started to pay attention to Hitler, like, oh, this guy's for real, we better wake up. The United States assisted Germany with its inflation problem in the early 20s by implementing the Dawes Plan. So the Dawes Plan was help from the United States to help Germany get out of its economic problems. We then had our own economic problems, and the world got sick economically. There was an economic collapse in many nations. What conditions and situations that helped fascists come to power in Germany? Well, of course, we talked about those weak democracies. But what you want to go over, this needs to be a longer response. This is one of your short essay responses. And what you want to get into is that the countries became ruled by fascist governments, had little historical experience with democracy. So they didn't have strong governments that had checks and balances in place. There were few systems in place to deal with the problems caused by economic depression and the resulting social unrest. Germany suffered enormously as a result of losing its power during this time, because Hitler then told the people, "Hey, guess what? I got a problem for all your economic I got a solution to all your economic problems. You know, it's got to be the Jews. It's definitely the Jews. Maybe the gypsies are involved, probably the homosexuals. If we kill them, everything will be fine." And of course, Hitler gets everybody riled up in this nationalist message of, you know, we're good, this group's bad, if we get rid of them, we'll be fine. See Rwanda, Hutus, Tutsis, Hutu power, all that stuff. It's a textbook genocidal talk. But you want to talk about fascist governments had little historical experience with democracy. There were few systems in place to deal with problems caused by the economic depression and the resulting social unrest. And this is on page 911, 912 of your textbook. How did technology change daily life after World War I? And you want to look at page 900 for that. They have a whole section on that. So please take notes on page 900. How did technology change daily life after World War I? You're going to have to write about 1 to 2 thoroughly reflective paragraphs with quotes from the text. So I want you to be able to do some of the writing beforehand so you're ready for the exam. That's pretty much it that we've gone over before now, that we've reviewed now. So what I'd like you to do is go ahead and play this again if you need to. Take notes from this video, and then ask me in class to go over with you if you're fuzzy on any of this, if I went too fast in any areas, or if I was unclear in the way I presented any of the material. Please ask me in class to clarify, because I am not the best orator or the most perfect speaker, so I want to make sure that you get all the information down in class. So that's about it. I will post this video. I'll send the link to this video via email to you so you can do the review, and I'll see you in class this week. Bye now.